If you're a designer who has felt stuck, undervalued, or creatively drained last year, like 2025 did you in, this is for you, Mookie. Working a creative 9 to 5 while freelancing completely reshaped how I think and approach design, values, and boundaries. In 2025, those two worlds of creative 9 to 5 and freelancing started teaching me completely different lessons. For context, I work across graphic design, brand strategy, and marketing. Last year, the year 2025, really forced me to rethink not just why I design, but who I'm designing for and what it is that I am designing. I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 lessons that I had throughout my design, creative, marketing career and endeavors last year that have really helped me as someone who is not only a 9 to 5 creative, but someone who is a freelancer and balancing both, doing the do. Okay. Your 9 to 5 is going to train you to design at scale. What this taught me is to design for consistency, not aesthetics, or to design for consistency, not just creativity. Being a designer, especially when you're working a 9 to 5 role, you come in through that door, having all these creative capabilities and knowing all these cool things, but you do work within a system that's more rigid and that's more set for you, brand guidelines, timelines, constraints, things like that. Whereas when you're freelancing, you do what you want. You set the tone, you set the pace. Scalable design really matters when you think of longevity, when you think of growth, and you think of consistency. You want to provide your client, you want to provide your agency, your whoever, with something that's scalable and that they're going to be able to use over and over and over again. You don't want it to be something that is a one use or a two use. Working in a 9 to 5 really teaches you how to defend your design decisions. Being able to defend your design decision allows you to communicate rationale clearly. If your client expected to have ABC, you give them DEF. Why? Why did you choose to do this? This typically would happen in my creative 9 to 5. Something that would usually happen is the client sends over a request and the way that it's worded doesn't make sense. They don't have the design jargon. They don't have, that higher level of design knowledge where they can actually be like, yeah, I need you to go ahead and adjust this layer. I need you to go ahead and add this effect. I need you to go ahead and, make this disappear. Or they're not really explaining it that way. They're just saying, make this look like this. It teaches you how to communicate your rationale more clearly and also help your client understand like what really is going on so they don't get lost in the sauce. It also teaches you to stand behind your choices, which I feel like is tying into all these points. Stand behind your choices, because if you are the designer and you were someone that was hired, you were trusted to do this job, you were enlisted to do this job, they do think that you can do it. They believe that you can do it. They just want to see it. So stand behind your choices. Stand behind your choices, be able to back them up. I was able to think of time management as a needed skill in my design endeavors, my design career. I had more of the ability to say no when I knew that there was going to be something that I would not be able to do, freelancing and creative 9 to 5. If it's going to go out of the parameters, if it's outside of the scope, if it's something that we hadn't discussed before, you gotta learn how to put your foot down. You gotta be able to understand that your time management is your energy as well. It protects your creative capacity. The burnout and the creative, hamster wheel where you are just running around in circles and you don't know what to do, or you have that creative fog, sucks. And that can happen with burnout. Some days my best design wasn't actually a logo, it wasn't a design, it was a boundary. It was something that I set in stone to really keep me from feeling like I'm overwhelmed and I'm just overstimulated. Because for me, once I start feeling overwhelmed, it's like slippery slope. Burnout is very much a thing. And just like if you've experienced before, there are stages to burnout, and that can happen in a creative 9 to 5. So you gotta take care of yourself, you gotta protect your energy, and the time management helps that. Your job pays for safety and stability. Your freelance provides that growth and that creativity. Your 9 to 5 is going to provide stability. You're getting paid to be here. You're doing this creative endeavor. Kudos to you. You're getting paid 9 to 5 to do that. When you are doing, the freelancing, that is really your freeness, your open time. That's where you can explore. That's where you can dibble and dabble and make mistakes, and you don't have to worry. You don't have to feel like, well, damn, I designed this. This is too creative. This is too much, and I'm not going to like it. I can't post this. I can't do nothing with it. Baby, you're freelancing. You're off the clock. This is the 5 to 9 after the 9 to 5. Get busy. Do what you want. That's what I had to learn. In my creative 9 to 5, there are hard, rules, established guides, established guidelines and things that you can't do. My freelancing career doesn't have all of that. Granted, I have rules that I set for myself and goals and things like that. However, I don't have the same parameters in freelancing as I do with my creative 9 to 5, because it's still a job. It's still 9 to 5. I'm still working in corporate. I'm still, I'm on somebody's payroll, baby. I'm on somebody's payroll. First started my creative 9 to 5, I knew going in and being part of the team that I wasn't going to be really doing a lot of creative work, which was okay with me. I was cool because I had been briefed of that before I came in the door, before everything was done, right? But it was just the restriction and the watering down of everything that I felt like it took for me to get in that door, to now being reduced to grayscale, monotone designs where we're not really designing. There is no real creativity. There really isn't. It just kind of at times felt like constantly running on the hamster wheel. Because for me, I really struggled with, I'm going 40 hours a week here at this job and I need something to add to my portfolio, but I'm so burnt out because when I do get things, that are tasked as being creative, now it's like an end all be all, it's like I put it on the floor, what you got, because I haven't been doing anything creative the whole time. And then it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. I had to separate the two. And I had to start thinking about, okay, what I'm doing here 9 to 5 creatively is for this business, and that's okay. But this does not define me as the graphic designer, the brand strategist, or the marketer. This is just what I'm doing here within these 4 walls for these 8 hours to be able to allow me to buy new equipment, get that new application, or, buy that new tool, or do whatever. 9 to 5, stability, freelancing, open air playground, go crazy, get bugged. The biggest takeaway is from this whole video is your identity as a designer cannot live in one place. Yes, you are a designer, but you are more than a designer. You do other things. You are a multifaceted person, and that should show through in any and everything you do. Personally, for me, being both an employee and a creative 9 to 5 and being a freelancer taught me, not even when it just comes to job titles, but personal life, not to tie myself down to one thing. Yes, I do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I'm skilled in that area, but I'm more than that. I am a multitude of things. And being self-taught, being in, this new first creative 9 to 5 role, there's a lot of intimidation that's not even coming from other designers, but just not knowing how the system works, not understanding how agency work really goes, or what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be sitting here? Am I supposed to be working on something? Is there something that you want me to pop out and give to you? I don't know. Are y'all expecting some type of deliverable from me? Like, is there something I should be checking that I don't know? There was a lot of lessons. In doing that, it allowed me to have confidence in my role, and then confidence outside of my role too. It taught me to design for myself and not just employers. So that's why I like to say I'm a creative, because yes, I do graphic design, I do brand strategy, I do marketing, but I feel like overall what I'm encompassed and what I like to think of myself as is a creative. I do content creation, I do editing, I do photo editing, so video editing, photo editing, I paint, I sew, I do ceramics, I do a lot of creative things. I'm a creative. I'm not just a creative in my freelancing, and I'm not just a creative in my 9 to 5. I'm a creative wherever I go, and I'm creating design wherever I go. However I am, however I show up. Balancing a creative 9 to 5 and freelancing wasn't easy, but it's something that I feel taught me a lot, and it's made me a better designer, a better communicator, and a better business thinker. I think about so many different business aspects that I never thought about, even when I had my own small business. Before doing design and everything, I just think about things so differently and in so many different approaches and facets. So if you feel like you're also like in some in-between space, or you're kind of at a wall or a road's end, don't feel like that. Don't beat yourself up. Just know that it's not a weakness, it's a training. It's something that you may not be super strong at, but you train that muscle, you get more knowledge, you acquire, better skills, and it's something that you become stronger at. And so yeah, if you're also a creative 9 to 5er, a freelancer, I would love to hear how you've approached these things, these two different worlds, how you've meshed them together. If you do one over the other, preference-wise, drop it down in the comments below and let me know. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Bye!